Welcome to the session for Uxbridge College Virtual Open Day for Media. If you haven't registered for the Open Day, then please do so by visiting the link which is in the chat box now so that we can send you a recording of this session later. If you have any questions during the session, please type it into the chat box and we will aim to answer it at the end of the session. So without further ado, I'd ask my colleague Mark to start the presentation.
Hi everyone, my name is Mark. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah, I can.
Brilliant. My name's Mark. I'm the course team leader for media, games and journalism. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking you through the course, the 3 courses, just to give you an idea of what we do. And I'll also be at the end asking any questions that anyone has regarding the course content and what we deliver. Okay, so at Uxbridge College we have a department which is based on media, games and journalism, so it's 3 quite similar subjects in the creative industries. Now I'm going to be talking you through each one. Now my specialism is TV and film and journalism. I know a little bit about games, but if you've got any other questions about games, you can email me at mfowler@uxbridgecollege.ac.uk and I'll be able to forward the questions to my gaming lecturer who'll be able to reply with the relevant answer. Okay. So the courses we offer, now we have 2 levels. We have level 2 media, TV and film, level 2 games design. We have level 3 media, TV and film, level 3 games design and level 3 journalism. Now you probably noticed that we don't have a level 2 journalism course. That's because the course is still pretty new. So we may be developing that in the near future. But I'll go through the difference between level 2 and level 3. Okay. So now level 2 is for students who leave school with 4 GCSEs, grade 3, or in old school grade D or above. And for level 3, it's 5 GCSEs between 9 to 4, basically grades A start to C. Now that means depending on what you come out of school with, we will have a course that is suitable for the qualifications that you've gained at school. My personal advice is if you are aiming for the 5 GCSEs at level 3, that will be what you need to aim for in school. But obviously not everyone gets the grades they like, but level 2 is there as a potential in case you haven't got the correct grades. Level 2s are 1-year courses and the level 3s are 2-year courses. So what that means is if you jump straight on level 3 from school, you'll be at college for 2 years and then would look at higher education options. If you didn't get enough grades, then you would do the level 2 course for a year, and then that will be enough to feed you into the level 3 course. So it's given all the learners who, didn't get as good grades as they'd liked to be able to still come to Uxbridge and study with us. So what we do now, obviously as part of the creative industries, what we do is we equip you with the skills you need to be successful in higher education and employment. Now that is within the creative industries. Secondly, we develop your passion for producing media. Now what we strive for is taking students who have a passion for creativity, producing content for educational and entertaining purposes. And this could be online, it could be via on film, it could be TV, all these different elements which you'd be aiming to produce content for. We like to provide interesting and engaging courses. Obviously, lots of people love TV and film, and we bring that passion into the course. We inspire creative and hard work. Now, that is the key word again, creativity. Yes, we have some practical aspects of the course. We have academic aspects of the course. But one of the key things we really want to see and grow within learners is the creativity, to be able to create this content which is unique for the relevant target audience. And of course, we want to support you to achieve your goals. Whatever you're planning in the future, we are here to support that. And we want to help build a positive working environment. So when you come to the college, working within the media department, we have a lovely working environment where everyone is comfortable, everyone is safe, and they just like to work together to create lots of visual and video content, working in teams. And as well, we will look at enhancing your CV with work experience, which is relevant to the course that you're studying, which I'll talk a little bit more later in the presentation. Now, one of the first questions a lot of people ask is, right, I come to Uxbridge College, I get that grade, what next? Right. Your typical progressions, the most common one is university. Apprenticeship is another one. Students who don't really want to go to university, so apprenticeship schemes where you work in industry. And rare, but does happen, some students go straight into industry, and this could be through work experience where they've really impressed an employer and they decide to offer them a position at a TV studio or another media company. It's rare, but it does happen. And when it does happen, it's usually because of the focus of the student and how much they want and how much they've worked hard at that placement and really shown a real passion for filmmaking. Now, just to go through the content, now we've got 3 pathways. We are creative media, and within creative media, we have 3 separate pathways. Now, the first one, which I lead, is TV and film. Now, the content you study in the TV and film section is script writing. So you learn how to come up with a story, adapt it to the screenplay format, so it's professional. And then when we move from there, we go into the pre-production planning skills, which is all about planning your location shoot, health and safety, risk assessments to make sure that everyone's safe. Obviously, with the current situation we have at the minute, which I'm sure everyone's aware of, one of the key things students are doing at the minute in their pre-production plan is taking in consideration the sort of advice from the government in relation to COVID. And this feeds into pretty much every aspect of the production because we work outside of the college as well as in. We work with DSLR cameras. We've got some lovely 4K HD cameras, which students will learn how to use from very basic to advanced. Now, I just want to add, if you come to the college and you haven't got any experience or background in using cameras, or it doesn't matter, we take you from the beginning. So don't worry if you think, oh, I don't want to go there because I don't know how to use a camera. Don't worry. We take you and give you those skills from the outset. We also have Adobe's digital editing software, which is the newest version on Apple Macs, which are top spec as in they run like a dream, and you can have a really nice workflow where you're editing your production, editing your films, then outputting it for YouTube. It could be output for broadcast. There's so many different ways of output, and especially because nowadays we have so many different ways of watching TV. We have a fully equipped TV studio with multi-camera setup, and it has a gallery, and we have a full green screen rig so students can do some chroma keying. Now, chroma keying is where it's a little bit like when you watch Harry Potter. Obviously, we know Harry Potter doesn't really fly on a broomstick, but we can do that with the green screen. And it's something that the students tend to have fun with as well. And although it's predominantly practical, we do have some theory-based work, which is where we analyze TV and film. Now, this is because you can't create really engaging and up-to-date content if you don't understand the workings behind it. So they would look at films, television shows, who the target audience is. We'd look at the different themes that's within those shows and films. We look into music video, pretty much any visual format, so learners can not only understand and respect other practitioners' styles, but also develop their own as well. So it's quite a hands-on, practical, but also quite creative theory-based course. So there's lots of elements in there. Okay. Now, the second course is Media Pathway Journalism. Now, the journalism course is predominantly creative writing, which is obviously, as you'll be aware, journalism nowadays, it's gone from just being in newspapers, it's actually moved to being online through social media, Twitter, and all these other different sort of various forms. And you'll learn how to write for all those different outputs. We teach interview techniques, as in For example, anyone can walk up to someone in the street and ask them questions. Anyone can do that. But to get a good interview, you need to know how to ask the right questions, how to have the right body language, and also being able to make someone comfortable to talk. And in some aspects, because we do a bit of practical work on that course, you may be doing a documentary where you'll have to go out and interview people in the street. And once again, part of this is the health and safety aspect of COVID, so social distancing, but you'll learn all those skills and you'll learn how to use the camera kit. We'll look at online journalism, like I said before, how to report online on Twitter, Facebook, all these different outputs. I mean, a lot of the journalism students have their own YouTube channels where they do their own news reports, but they do it on YouTube on their channel, and it's quite successful as well. We also deliver news reporting, so the students will at some point get the opportunity to work in the TV studio as presenters. So they will be the anchor as such, a bit like Piers Morgan and Susanna Reid on a morning on their GMB. So they'll get to have that experience too. And also with the journalism course, with all courses, we focus a lot on employability, because the creative industries, even though there was a lot of companies out there that want to take on new practitioners, a lot of it is involved in freelance work. So we set students up to work freelance and also potentially set up our own production company. So it's quite varied on what we do with that course. And finally, the games design course. Now, like I say, I'm not an expert, but I do know a good idea about what entails with the games design course. And like I said earlier, you're more than welcome to contact the college, myself, and I'll be able to answer any questions via email. So some of the elements that games design, they do 3D modeling, 3D animation, 2D animation, which is pretty cool, and get character design. And what they do is they actually design and create their own games. And the students, it's very much a hands-on practical course. And as well as designing characters, to design worlds, it's really quite cool. And every time I go in the class, even though I don't teach the subject, I'm really intrigued by some of the work that these guys do. The work with the Unity 3D game engine, I tell you what that means, but I'll be pretending. Apparently it's to do with the processing of the game engines. And software they use is Autodesk Maya, which is an industry standard piece of software which students will get to use and learn and develop their ideas on. Now, just to talk a little bit about enrichment. Now, we pride ourselves in the media department to be able to give students as much real world experience and also educational visits. Now, obviously due to the current climate with COVID, we are minimal at the moment because of the fact that most places are shut. But hopefully, you know, once this ends, and I'm sure everyone's thinking the same thing, hopefully early next year, by the time we move into the next academic year, which is what you're hopefully going to be applying for, we'll have plenty of really cool educational visits where students can visit Harry Potter World, the one of studio tour, museums within London, and we try to go to the Bradford Film Museum and other locations as well, such as Pinewood and other major studios. Just to mention as well, if you are applying for the course, we have bursaries and free meals, which are dealt with by student support, and they could help you if you're worried about any financial issues. Another thing that's really great at the college, and this is across all departments, is the support. You are supported by the team, you are supported by the support staff, and you're supported by everyone who works at the college in some form or other. And we're there if you ever need any help without any issues at home. We're all there to support and help. And another thing we do is we have in-house film competitions. So students who make films, we shortlist them into a competition. It's kind of like its own little mini festival where students can win prizes. And that's something that really goes down well for your UCAS application if you're thinking about going to university. Okay. So that's an overview of the course. I'm hoping it was quite informative. Is there any questions? I'm here now on the chat to answer any questions that you have.
I have a question.
Yep.
It's just that we applied online yesterday, the application,
Yep.
and I was just expecting, when will we have the interview calls? What time we should be expecting for the interviews if they call us?
Typically, the interviews are arranged. It'll probably be after Christmas. 'Cause that's when we start the interview process. But you will be given plenty of time and notice in advance. Typically, the interview processes happen on a Wednesday afternoon between 3 and 5. It may change, but as far as I'm aware at the minute, it will be those days.
So my son has taken in GCSE film studies and creative eye media, and he wants to go forward in film studies.
Yep.
So we must be applying for that course, and we've heard that it has good facility. So will there be any like further, you can tell me about like what he can go after doing that course? Where he can.
After doing this course, so if he was looking at, because obviously we're film production, if he study film studies, he wants to go into that route. Once he completes the
Level 2 we be applying, isn't it, after GCSE?
level 2. Yeah, so if he's applying for level 2, if that means he's GCSE grades, the expected grades are going to be for level 2, he would come on the level 2 program. He would do that for a year, and then he would progress pretty much automatically, as long as he passes with relevant grades, to the level 3 program. And at level 3, that's when we'd start discussing the next stage of his career. Some go to university, some go to do apprenticeships, but it's really down to the student at the time. So it might be worth thinking on for his long-term goals, and then that way we are able to sort of support him with those goals.
Okay. So yeah, that's.
Sorry, can I interrupt here? There is another question. What is the difference between UAL and BTEC? Is one or more accepted at uni or by employers?
Right, that is quite a common question. Now, there's always been a lot of specs between BTEC and UL. The simple answer is there's no difference. The same UCAS points, the same entry requirements from university, and it does not be looked down or at all. It's the same qualification, the same results, and it's no different than 3 A levels. So they get the equivalent of 3 A levels doing the UL course or the BTEC.
All right. Okay.
Just answer this next question. Is level 3, both level 2 and 3 are delivered at the Uxbridge campus.
Okay. What are the grades you expect in GCSEs for the level 2?
For GCSE, just going back onto my presentation, the level 2 requirements is 4 GCSEs, grade 3 or above, so old school grade D. So 4 GCSEs are grade 3 or above. For level 3, it's 5 GCSEs, grade 9 to 4.
Okay.
I think that's all we have time for today. So I'd really like to thank you all for attending this session and hope you found it useful. We will be sending a recording of this session to all of those who have registered. And just want to say, if you are ready to apply for a course, you can apply on the website. Our prospectus for next year is under production and will be available soon. Just a request that if you want to look at the other sessions that are on today, please have a look at our virtual open day. And we have one for apprenticeships and T levels coming up on the 2nd of December as well. So thank you all. Thank you all for joining us. We look forward to welcoming you to Uxbridge College. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.